Welcome, everyone. We're going to get started in just a few seconds. Like, wait for everybody to come in. Great, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you, everyone, for coming. My name is Lauren Redman, and I'm the program manager for our Masters of Science in Data Analytics Engineering, as well as the Master of Information Systems. So we're super glad you're here today. We have 3 women who work in tech, and I will have Katie introduce them in just a second. We are using our Q&A feature today, so if you do have questions, you can put those in the Q&A option on your screen. And as the Coursera person has said, the chat will be shut off, but the Q&A is open for questions. Okay, so I will go ahead and throw this over to Katie, who's going to introduce our panelists. Or I guess should I go? Sorry, go back. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm Lauren Redman. I'm the program manager. We also have Katie Friedman here. I'll have her to introduce herself when she introduces the panelists. Also on our team, we have Tyler Sonnenberg and Prajakta Kulkami. I'm sorry. I always just call her Prajakta. I never, anyway. They work in admissions here at Northeastern, and then we have Tom LeBron, who works for Coursera admissions. So let me go ahead and throw this over to Katie now.
Hi, everyone. So glad you're here today. My name is Katie Friedman. I'm the success manager for both the data analytics engineering and the information systems programs at Northeastern. So that means I'm the students' kind of go-to point of contact if you have questions while you're in the program or before you start the program. And we have 3 current students with us here today. So I'm going to go ahead and read a little bit about them, and then and how fabulous they are, and then they will take some questions. I have some pre-recorded questions for them, and then if you have questions as I'm asking, put them in the Q&A. About halfway through questions, we'll take a break, and Prajakta will tell us a little bit more about the program. So if you have questions about the programs, she might touch on some of that, and then we'll go back to questions for our panelists. So a little bit back and forth here to give you hopefully what you need. But first I'll introduce our panelists. So going left to right here on the screen, first we have Tamara. She's from Boston, Massachusetts, but currently living in Houston, Texas. And she works for a legal tech startup based out of San Francisco, where she sells software to some of the top firms in the US. She attended the University of Massachusetts Amherst, where she received a Bachelor of Arts in Legal Studies. Upon receiving her degree, she pivoted into the sales side of the tech industry and began to learn the importance of patterns, data, and trends to run a successful business. She's also earned certifications like the IBM Data Analyst and Tableau Business Intelligence Analyst certificates to prepare her for pursuing her master's in data analytics engineering. Okay. Second, we have Anna. So Anna graduated from the University of Calgary with a Bachelor of Commerce. She transitioned from accounting to data analytics during COVID, looking for a change. Before starting the Master's of Science in Data Analytics Engineering full-time earlier this year, she worked as an operations analyst at a healthcare company. She enjoys working with data and solving problems for fellow colleagues, and she's excited to acquire new skills in the emerging field of data through this program. And lastly, on the screen there, we have Karnaz. She currently works as a software engineer intern at Augmetics, which is a healthcare company based in California. She decided to pursue a degree at Northeastern because the degree fits her needs best, with the most important thing being looking for flexibility of degree options and a good reputable school. She was very fortunate to come upon Northeastern's program, which fits like a glove. She's worked in financial services in the past, so she was already used to working in a male-dominated field, and so there's always challenges that come with that. The way she approaches things is, this is your dream, you're doing what you've wanted to do for a long time, so don't let anything stop you from doing what you love. So let's see what questions our panelists are ready for. Tamara, I'm going to kick off with you, and if you'll just talk a little bit about how you got into this role and how you kind of moved into the data and sales side of your field.
Yeah, so thank you for having me again. So the way I got into this role, again, I got my bachelor's in legal studies. And so upon receiving my bachelor's, I did some legal assistant work, some relationship management as well. And then from there, within that relationship role, I did, of course, do some sales. And then I just wanted to get into the tech industry. So I did go start up into a tech boot camp where I basically learned of all the important skills you need to in the business side of tech and the sales side as well. So then from there, I got into just the sales development representative role. I started off at a revenue company and then transitioned to the legal tech, which is kind of more on the side of my degree, which is why I do want to transfer over into like the data analytics finance side of things.
Awesome. Thank you. Anna, this one's for you. What advice would you give to other women identifying professionals looking to get into the field of data or data analytics or technology as a whole?
I got into data while I was stuck in the house during COVID, and I really want to look for change. At that time, I didn't know how, but I got to Coursera and I discovered, oh, data. So the advice I would give is, despite how little I have right here, is know your why. You need to know why you are pursuing this, and know that if you want to have the data, like going to a new field, knowing your why will make sure you're determined, you can get through the grind, you know where you're going, can like know your why, can get through anyhow. And also, on a side note is that this field need women. And I encountered a book called Invisible Women by Caroline Criado Perez, I think. It's just that women being invisible has led to a lot of things that, for example, like seatbelts, like more catered to men instead of women, or symptoms of cardiac arrest are taken on like men, like more study on men instead of women. So if you don't go into data and then, you don't notice things like this. And these things all feed into my why, feed into the reason I go behind data. And also I like data that I can help a lot of people while I was working. Yeah, my advice is just know your why and stay determined.
Thank you. And you just mentioned something great. So Coursera is where, you stumbled upon these classes. So Coursera is a great resource. It has lots of open content, including some of the courses that you would take in this program. You can find in open content courses on there to get a taste of what they would look like if you continued them at Northeastern. So that could be a great resource there. Karnaz, I'm going to turn over to you. You have an internship, in this role that you got kind of while starting this program. Can you tell us a little bit more about that experience and what it's been like for you?
So with my internship, I get to work with data and also like the data warehousing side. And basically, with my internship, I apply a lot of the things I've learned in the program. And then also I've learned to expand more on what I've already known. And that's really amazing, because this program kind of is the only reason I even got the internship in the first place, because I never would have thought of doing this ever. And then I got into this program, and all the teachers and teaching assistants, they give you so much confidence in like, no, you know what you're doing, just like do it. And that really helped me grow my confidence. But before this program, I never would have thought that I would be here. Like 6 months ago, if someone told me like, this is what you're going to be doing, like, no, you're joking. There's no way. So I get to work with a lot of data in my current role, and a lot of things you learn in this program, you literally get to use it day to day in your job, which is amazing.
Thank you. And tell us a little bit more, because I know being a woman in, a male-dominated field is very important to you. How are you showing up as your authentic self and making sure your voice is heard, in this internship or in the classroom or whatever that looks like for you?
So for me, I guess working in finance earlier kind of helped me just prepare for this. And I've always like wanted to work in tech, but I remember back in 11th grade, got into this math higher level class in IB, and I was the only girl there. And I remember being so intimidated back then. And I walked out and I'm like, no, I can't do this. So this time I told myself, I'm not gonna make the same mistake I made when I was 16. And this time I'm gonna go through with it. So I remind myself of that. And anytime there's this challenge, I always remind myself, no, like this is what you want. So go for it.
Awesome. Tamara, I'm gonna put this one to you. Tell me, you talked about the certifications you did. What other type of professional development or organizations or support have you kind of found or leaned on, or would you recommend to others as a woman who's in the tech field or trying to move into the tech field?
Yeah, so for me, I would recommend definitely joining organizations that you can relate to. For myself, I joined Forbes Black, I joined Sisters in Sales, and it's not necessarily tailored to those in sales. It's more so tailored to those women in tech. And with that, I'm able to, gain networkship and build relationship with those that can possibly help me with internships, gaining jobs, or just like being able to have that relationship if I have a question or have someone else who's also going the same career route as I am. I can, of course, reach out to them. So those are just a few of the ones that I've joined, and I found a lot of help with them. They have a Slack channel, they have a LinkedIn page, so you're always connected. You're always able to see any updates going on in your area. And I've been able to attend a few of the events happening in Houston as well. So it's been great.
Anna, is there anything you would add as far as professional development or mentorship or support that you found that you would recommend for others?
For me, one thing that really helped me was joining local data enthusiast communities. Where I am has one called Data for Good. They hosted a initiative called mini projects. Or micro projects. Basically, it has a team of fellow community members looking for open source data, and then these mini groups will meet up online and then work on these projects together. And these things really help when you're going job hunting. You can actually showcase these projects and say, hey, this is what I've done, right? So I would say just look for your local communities and attend events, help with networking a lot.
That's great. I had no idea there was a Data for Good kind of meetup groups. That's fabulous.
Yeah.
So, Karnaz, you mentioned this in your biography when I talked about how Northeastern was a fit for you, but what made you decide to pursue a master's degree, right? That's a big decision. And then what made you choose Northeastern University?
So with my master's, I've always wanted to do a master's and I've been thinking of doing it for a while, but I never found the right university and the right program that had exactly like what I wanted. And the key thing for me was flexibility, because I wanted to be able to work and do other things and study, and I wanted to do a lot, like, just go all out with doing a lot together. So that's why I love Northeastern's program so much, because right now, for example, the reason it's dark here is because I'm in a hotel in Turkey and I'm traveling and we're doing my internship and I'm studying at the same time. And I love that. So that's why I love Northeastern's program. I really recommend it to anyone that really wants that type of flexibility and like work-life balance, because you're not tied to any physical location and you get to do whatever you want, wherever you want.
And that question came in the chat, so I just want to address it out loud too. A lot of our learners are adult learners. They're either career transitioners or career changers. The programs themselves are designed to be flexible. So you could either do the program full-time, you could be a working professional while doing the program. There's a lot of options there for lots of different learning styles. So, all right, this question is going to be for everyone, but I'll start with Tamara. What is something that you've enjoyed about the degree so far, whether it's been a class, a professor, a skill that you're like, ooh, I'm really excited to learn this. What's excited you or have you enjoyed so far?
I would say all three. So, like Karnaz had mentioned, the flexibility. I was also out of the country just like 2 days ago, and I was doing my homework and being able to work, but also enjoy my vacation. And then conversations with Katie, just being as, supportive as she is, and, telling me that like, you're doing what you need to do. And you're on the path of becoming like the engineer that you want to be. And then the information that I'm learning, it's a ton of information, but it's very insightful. And I, before going into the program, I did a ton of like teaching myself how to code and actually putting it into place into the class, like into, projects. It just shows how much like you can put into play into the projects, but also learn, even if you think that you knew what you were doing, you learn so much more. And you could then, of course, become that expert that you're becoming within the program. So that's what I would say I enjoy in the program.
What about you, Anna?
For me, definitely flexibility and all the help I like from Katie, yourself, and from the professors through the office hours and with the TA during the TA office hours. You can just go in there, ask some questions, and a lot of times, like they are really helpful for a lot of the things. Like for example, projects, how to build a database from scratch. That's something I always wanted to learn, and finally having a chance to do that last semester, and that was a blast. So I enjoyed the flexibility, the help, and also the just the things I learned. It feels like a dream coming true, really.
And Karnath, I'm going to alter it a little bit for you. Tell me about a course or a content area in a course that's really excited or jazzed you so far.
So I'm gonna piggyback off of Anna's answer a little bit. So last semester with IE 6700, we got to design a database, go from ideation to like actually implementing it, which I thought was very cool. And when the professor said this is what we're gonna do, I was like, there's no way that I can do this. I don't know how, I can't even see myself doing this. And then throughout this semester, you get all the help from the teaching assistants, the professors. Especially for me, the teaching assistants really helped because I was really struggling compared to everyone else in my class. I think I was struggling the most. So I really needed their help, and they gave me really, really good answers, and they really helped me. Like they kind of held my hand through that project, which really helped me do really well. And I got 100% in that project. So I'm really proud of that one, especially because it really pushed me outside of my comfort zone. And I think that's what this program, like anything that pushes you outside of your comfort zone and shows you a part of yourself that you didn't know that you even had, I think that's really worthwhile. And that's what I love about the course content in this program.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to pause there for a sec, give our panelists a sec to get some water. I want, other people on here to put the questions you have for the panelists in the chance. And I'm going to turn it over to Projecta for a second. She's going to give us some more details about the programs that then might, also give us some more questions. But use that Q&A and Projecta, I'm going to go to the next screen and turn it over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Katie. Like Katie said, my name is Projecta Kulkarni. I am the assistant director for the learner acquisition side of our program here. So we're going to switch gears just a little bit. I'm going to go over the two different programs we have. I'll talk about the FAST app and what that is, and then we'll open it back up for questions that you may have for our panelists. So just a quick overview, the Data Analytics and Engineering and Information Systems programs are both our Masters of Science degrees, and they're housed within our College of Engineering. The Data Analytics and Engineering, or DAE, as we call it for short, focuses on data visualization and data mining, whereas our MS and Information Systems, or MSIS, as we call it for short, combines data analytics and business management. So program support, regardless of which degree you ultimately opt for, whether it's our Data Analytics and Engineering or our MS and Information Systems, you will have program support every step of the way, whether that's through your success manager, Katie, as well as the instructors and TAs, as some of our panelists alluded to earlier. They are there to help answer questions that you have, provide you with the right resources, and just in general, making sure you are successful in the program. But you will also have access to our onboarding course and our Slack channel. these are there to help kind of navigate you as you learn the use the learning platform, and it is something that you can reference at any time during your program. So it's not, you know, something that's taken away after the first 2 weeks of class. You will always have access to it. And then our Slack channels are there so that way you can interact with not only your success manager and the program manager, which are Katie and Lauren, but you can also interact with your classmates through the Slack channels. And I think that's because the program is an online program, this is definitely a way to kind of create that connectivity and feel included within the program. And then finally, you will also have access to the Coursera technical support team, and that is something that is available 24/7. So at any point of the day when you are working on your assignments, if you have questions, you can always reach out to the Coursera technical support, and they will be there to help answer questions if in case, you know, Northeastern is closed or it's, you know, the middle of the night and you are not in the US, there will always be someone there to help answer questions. All right, so program cost. I know this is a big part of deciding whether or not you are going to be pursuing a master's degree, but currently our courses cost $3,000, and you have 8 classes that you need to take in the program, regardless of if you are doing the data analytics and engineering or the MS and information systems. There are 8 total classes, and currently both degrees cost $24,000, but that is, you know, subject to change. And then time to degree. So both degrees, data analytics and engineering and MS and information systems, are flexible, as you've heard from the panelists. So you can complete the degree in anywhere between 16 to 32 months. It really just depends on how many classes you take per semester. Once you are admitted, you would be meeting with Katie, your success manager, and you know, if you have a more strict timeline, Katie can help walk you through that. If you're a little bit more flexible in terms of how long you want to take to complete the classes, that's also an option too. But in average, 16 to 32 months. All right, so now the meat of the part, the admissions pathways. So we have 2 different options for you. First being the FASTAP performance-based admissions pathway, and then the second is the traditional graduate application. We here at Northeastern would recommend that you submit your FASTAP performance-based admissions pathways, just because it is, as the name calls, FASTAP, it is a little bit of a faster process, and you get your admission information a little bit quicker. So with that being said, how exactly do you join and what is the FASTAP? So to submit your FASTAP, you can do that via our website, and you can submit either for the data analytics engineering or MS and information systems. The FASTAP takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and it's super quick, and it's going to ask you some basic information, as you can see from the little graphic down below. It's going to ask you for your name, your contact info, your bachelor's degree information, and then a few other questions regarding like citizenship status and things like that. And then once you submit your FASTAP, Northeastern will then start creating your student account, which includes your Northeastern ID and your NU email address. Once we have all of your NU credentials created, you will receive an email within 24 to 72 hours. So I think 1 to 3 days, business days. And with that email, you will receive a link that will allow you to complete step 2, which is where you get to choose your courses, pay your deposit. And basically after step 2, you are considered an NU student. So it's super quick and easy. And you would have then registered for your performance-based application courses. As far as the actual classes go, you have to earn a B or better in both of your performance-based admission courses, or pathway classes as we call them, in order to join the full degree program at the start of the next available term. And because there are 2 classes that you have to take, you can either choose to take both classes during the same semester, or if you want to, if you have a little bit more time and flexibility, then you can take 1 class at a time. But once you complete both of those courses with a B or better, you are then eligible for step 4, which is where you matriculate into the full degree program. So I know some of you are probably thinking, well, what if I don't have tech experience? Or if, like, what if I'm not quite comfortable starting a engineering or information systems degree quite yet, we have a few options for you. So if you don't have tech experience, or if your bachelor's degree is not in STEM, or if you simply just want to kind of brush up on your skills before you actually complete or begin the pathway courses, we do have specialization courses and the Coursera open content courses, which I know Katie was talking about at the start of this presentation. So definitely reach out to us. There are a few options we can send to you. I know that on the screen here we have linked a few of them. But if you have more questions regarding like the actual Coursera open content courses, definitely reach out to us. We have, like I said, a few options that we can send your way. All right, so then next steps, what exactly do you need to do if you are interested? We do have a few more webinars coming up in July that are going to be a little bit more in-depth in terms of our MS in Data Analytics Engineering program, as well as our MS in Information Systems. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more about the program, definitely sign up for one of the webinars that are coming in July. But if you are ready to submit your FAFSA and kind of see where you fall in the on the FAFSA track, we have that ready for you, and we can put the link to our FAFSA in the Q&A portion here shortly. But one thing to keep in mind, the deadline for fall is August 15th, and that would mean that you would start classes September 4th. So if you are interested in starting this fall, we highly encourage you to submit your FAFSA by August 15th, if not earlier, because if you do apply earlier and it turns out you want to take some of those specialization or Coursera open content courses, you would have time to get that situated before starting classes on September 4th. And then additionally, if you have questions, you can always reach out to us via email, or you can scan the QR code and you can make an appointment with Tom, who is our Coursera representative, and he can definitely help answer any questions that you might have regarding either the Data Analytics Engineering program or the MS in Information Systems. And then, like I said, if you email us at engineering-fastapp@northeastern.edu, that will go directly to myself or Katie or one of our team members, and we can help answer questions there as well. But like I said, I did want to leave room for questions from you all for the panelists, whether it's questions regarding the panelists' specific routes into the tech field, or if you have questions for myself or Katie regarding like the next steps and what the FAFSA is, feel free to drop those questions in the chat or in the Q&A.
And you've been keeping us busy in the chat. We appreciate that in the Q&A. So we're going to give Projecta a chance now to get some water or take a breather. Thank you for all that helpful information. And I'm going to go back to our panelists for one question, and then please keep putting them in, the Q&A. But Tamara, Karnez, and Anna, when you think of the impact that you're going to make in the tech field, right? So you can tell me a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, what are you hoping that as a professional, like what's the impact you make as a woman in the tech field?
I guess I'll start. For me, like both ladies said, there's not a lot of women in this field. And when I was going into, looking at this for a career, I was doing a ton of research and I didn't see a lot of women. So I know for myself, what I would love to be is like a pioneer for those women that are looking for, some advice or the routes that others took, and can kind of look at myself as kind of like a guidance when it comes to this career, and like any questions that they may have, like being able to get that answered through myself. But also, like I mentioned, going into the finance route and just being able to provide like the good data for a company to be successful when it comes to my career.
I love that. What about you, Karnez?
So for me, currently, since I'm working in health tech, I've started to see how AI can help make our healthcare system better and just impact people, like impact society in a very positive way. And that's what I know. I see a lot of articles on AI and on how it demonizes AI, and it's like AI is ruining this for us and ruining the future. There are lots of articles like that out there. But I feel like if for me specifically, I want to, it's not about, it's about how you use the tools that are given to, that are at your disposal. And with AI, I've seen that the good it can do with, especially with, say, assistive technology that helps the blind, or say just for currently for us, it's the health tech app company that I work at. They're helping doctors with patient, like if whatever the patient diagnosis is, the doctors get like a recording of it, and then they get to process the data really fast. So that helps them deliver better quality services to patients. So things like that, like I see how positive it can impact our future, and I want to hopefully be someone that is in that space and gets to do, like, if I get to do something that helps even like one person, I would think that I did something worthwhile with my life.
I love that too. Anna, why don't you wrap us up there?
Well, I think for the skills I've learned here at Northeastern, I will definitely be a better data analyst, knowing like more skills, becoming a better professional is all along this path. But I also think that as a woman in the tech field, I know this feeling that you have something to say, but somehow the loudest person in the room is never you. The loudest person in the room, it has always, it's sort of ignoring what you have to say. But also, like if I have something to say, I would try to encourage myself, try to boost up my confidence, and try to speak up. But also, if like years down the road, if I were to, look back, I would say, if I ever see another woman in my field, I would say, let her speak, give her a chance to speak. I think that sort of just becoming a better professional would mean that there's more power in what I'm saying, and being in this field and giving more experience means that if there are any other women in this field, I will be able to help them get their voice heard as well.
Thank you. I love that. And something too that you just made me think of is when it comes to being in the classroom in these programs too, we do have a lot of women identifying learners in the classroom. Almost 45% of our learners in these programs are women, which is quite high for tech programs. It may not seem that way, I realize, sometimes depending on the class or the group you're in, but if you're someone who's looking to be in a class with other women learners, that's another point to think about with these programs. And then I did see a question in there. What program do you decide is for you? How do you know which program is the right one? I think if you're, interested in both programs, I would really encourage you to take some of the open content courses or look at some of the open content courses on Coursera and see which ones excite you more. Is it the data analytics engineering ones? Is it the information systems? And kind of dive in that way, because they're both great programs. They have slightly different, career outcomes and slightly different trajectories. But both definitely great technical programs there. Yeah. Lauren or Projecta, anything that I left off that we want to make sure to mention before we wrap up here in a few minutes?
There was just one question that came in through the chat, and they are asking if the degree will mention anything about being online.
Great question. It will, sorry, I can't speak. It will not. So your degree will just say online, it won't say online, sorry, now I got confused. It will just say you have a Master's of Science in your data analytics and information systems. So hold that in your evaluation. Well, we should give a round of applause to Tamara, to Karnaz, and Anna, one for their time and two for their expertise, and also just inspiring. I feel more inspired for the future of tech due to these three women being in the field. So thank you very much. If you have more questions, I'll put the QR code and the email are on the screen, so I will leave that up for you. And I will hang around if there's any additional question or answers you want to put in the chat. But thank you for being here today. And we're glad that you gave us your time. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.